station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
And thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 5. I'm Tosin Fakile in for Mark Hall and Annalisa Gale. The fallout continues at Reagan National Airport. Here's a live look at the airport tonight, and this fallout comes as a deadly plane crash that killed 67 people. Then over the weekend, a kite hitting a United Airlines flight on Saturday at Gravelly Point, forcing it to land at DCA. Right now, an investigation is underway as an FAA employee faces assault charges after an incident in the air traffic control tower at Reagan National Airport last week. The airport authority says it happened in the air traffic control tower. We find DC News Now's Randy Bass near the airport at Gravelly Point this afternoon. And Randy, like we said, this comes after several incidents there, including that incident in January, that deadly collision that took several lives.
Yes, it's been just over 2 months now since that deadly crash, and turmoil inside the Reagan National Airport air traffic control hub. Those tensions reached a new level on Thursday, sending an air traffic controller to the Arlington Detention Center. That FAA employee, identified as 39-year-old Damon Marsalis Gaines of Upper Marlboro, Maryland, now on administrative leave as the FAA investigates what happened. The Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority says he was arrested following reports of an incident in the air traffic control tower at DCA Thursday. After that arrest, the authority says he was taken to the Arlington Detention Center and released by the magistrate on a summons for assault and battery. Travelers we talked to say recent events at the airport make them feel
kind of uneasy, but this is the airport I chose to travel out of. That sounds pretty insane. Not in that professional environment.
It's concerning. I mean, if we have to worry about security down here in the terminal, what about security up into the air traffic controllers? And we don't need any more distractions in that area.
And former airline pilot Keith Mackey says the air traffic control tower is already a high-stress environment, especially in complicated, busy airspace like that over DCA.
Controllers now, because of these recent accidents, near misses, are under even a lot more pressure than they are normally. The traffic doesn't decrease, the flights increase, so that just adds to the complexity and the stress on the controllers.
Yes, and we reached out to Gaines today for comment. We did not hear back. Court documents for this case were not immediately available at the Arlington County Courthouse today. Near Reagan National Airport, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
Randy, thank you for that report. We are taking a live look right now at the National Cathedral. The sun is out. Quite the difference from what we saw this time yesterday. Let's head on over to meteorologist Scott Sumner with a check of the forecast. And Scott, a different tune today, but we know like March, at least towards the end, was really hot. Did we create a record of sorts?
Yeah, let's take a look at this. Top 5 warmest Marches, and we cracked it at number 4 here with a monthly average temperature, obviously, not just one single day, monthly average of 54.3 degrees. So the warmest was back in 2012, 56 degrees, 0.8. So we were fairly mild. We're starting off April a little on the cooler side, and we might stay cool for at least part of the month because from what I can see, we've got some cool air in place. Not to say that we couldn't get some warmth in there, but as we look right now, we're seeing 58 degrees, sunshine. We still have a breeze out of the north-northwest at 11 miles an hour. And with some starry skies tonight and those winds abating, it provides for good radiational cooling out there. And we'll see temperatures drop all the way down into the lower 40s in the district, but 30s outside of the D.C. area. So here we go. And then we'll rebound tomorrow, a couple degrees warmer than what we had today. We're going to get into the 60s, except if you're closer by the water, we'll have more of an east to northeast fetch of wind, and thereby staying in the 50s during the course of your afternoon. All right, so what about the weather headlines here? We got a warm front that's going to approach us tomorrow with a few storms on Thursday and rain chances through Sunday. So yes, a little unsettled. You got to stick around. I got that 7-day forecast for you coming up.
All right, Scott, thank you. A death investigation happening right now in Laurel, Maryland. The details are limited right now, but what we do know is that police found a man dead on Martin Street off Montrose Avenue. This was at about 4 this morning. The circumstances of the death are being investigated as suspicious. Anyone with information is encouraged to call Laurel Police. The Trump administration is defending its decision to deport a Prince George's County man back to his native country of El Salvador, even though the administration says it was a mistake. Immigration officers arrested Kilmar Abrego Garcia on March 12th after he finished work at a construction site in Baltimore. DC News Now's Dave Laval joining us now from the U.S. District Courthouse in Greenbelt, Maryland. Dave, what do we know right now?
Well, good evening to you, Tosin. What we can tell you is this is where Kilmar Garcia lost his legal battle to remain in the country. But in 2019, an immigration judge granted him asylum. Garcia's wife is said to have seen photos and video of him at El Salvador's most notorious prison. She identified her husband through tattoos and 2 scars on his head. The federal government contends Garcia had been part of the notorious MS-13 gang. A complaint filed on his behalf denied that and said Garcia never served in the group and came to America to escape gang violence. Among those who strongly criticized the deportation, Maryland Congressman Jamie Raskin, the ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee.
The administration says there's nothing they can do about it now because he's no longer in U.S. custody. This guy who lives in my state, married to a U.S. citizen, with citizen children, he's stuck with the dictator of El Salvador.
The Trump administration stated Garcia's gang ties were confirmed in a 2019 bond proceeding, which was upheld by the Board of Immigration Appeals. We're live in Greenbelt, Maryland. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Thanks for that report, Dave. Federal worker layoffs continue. This time, thousands of healthcare jobs are on the line. U.S. Health and Human Services Department sending out those notices this morning. You can see right here hundreds of employees waiting in a line wrapped around the department early today. Departments affected include the Centers for Disease Control, Federal Drug Administration, National Institute of Health, and the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. DC News Now's Kevon Dupree covers Montgomery County, where many of those cuts are taking place. He has more on the concerns from workers.
Hundreds of people walked out of the HHS building here in Rockville Tuesday after finding out that they've been fired. Early Tuesday morning, a line of employees formed around the Health and Human Services building on Fishers Lane. Some workers found out that they no longer had jobs as soon as they entered the building. Those who were laid off turned in their badges and work phones at the door. We talked to an HHS employee who still has his job. He asked to keep his identity hidden. For them to just be walked out like that or be sent via email that they no longer have a position, I think that's pretty crucial to living conditions and the cost of living now. I mean, a lot of people got to rearrange their lifestyles now due to what the government feels as though is right for their budget. So I think it's pretty messed up. Several employees at the National Institutes of Health in Bethesda also were laid off Tuesday. According to an NIH senior leader, the cuts included at least 4 directors and multiple communication staff members. At the Food and Drug Administration in Silver Spring, people who work at the campus say the agency's chief tobacco regulator, Brian King, was let go, along with dozens of other workers in the Tobacco Regulation Department. FDA employees say King sent an email to his staff saying, quote, "It is with a heavy heart and profound disappointment that I share I have been placed on administrative leave." Secretary Kennedy says this overhaul is to help with the goal to make America healthy again. Reporting in Rockville, I'm Kevon Dupree, DC News Now.
The Defense Department is now planning to offer voluntary resignations in an effort to reduce the number of firings the Pentagon has to make. Taking a live look at the Pentagon right now, it comes as defense leaders are looking to cut tens of thousands of the military's civilian employees and reinvest those savings elsewhere. Nearly 21,000 DoD civilian workers have already taken a voluntary resignation buyout earlier this year. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth signed the memo Friday and released two officials today. The department wants to cut 50 to 60,000 civilian jobs over the next several months through voluntary resignations. Hexet says they're trying to maximize participation in order to avoid mass firings. With the General Assembly in Virginia set to return tomorrow, lawmakers will consider proposed amendments to a bill that could restrict social media time. The bill that passed the General Assembly without opposition would limit minors under 16 to an hour a day for social media platforms, unless they get permission from a parent to increase or decrease that time limit. However, Governor Glenn Youngkin wants to raise the age to all minors under 18 and allow parents to disable certain features that automatically feed minors content, both of which are expected to receive bipartisan support.
At the end of the day, what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're putting appropriate guardrails on social media so that we're looking out for kids, right? Looking out for their academic progress, looking out for their mental health, and looking out for their ability to just be with their friends and family.
If it passes, it could take effect January 2026. If it's rejected, the bill goes to Governor Youngkin for his consideration. Well, more than 25 wounded warriors are putting their pedal to the metal, cycling through the DMV for the annual Soldier Ride. The veterans will be cycling through the region over the next 4 days as a journey of healing. These wounded warriors were fitted with adaptive bikes that help them enjoy cycling regardless of their injuries. The annual ride empowers wounded veterans on their road to recovery, allowing them prove something to themselves. These veterans, some patients at Walter Reed Medical Center, say it's more than a ride, but a way to strengthen their mental health and resilience. The Wounded Warrior Project fitted these veterans with bikes that enable them to ride whether they have an amputation or other disability.
I have a 4-year-old, so doing this stuff, in my opinion, will make him see that my dad is capable of doing anything.
The veterans will take off for Annapolis, where they will ride for more than 20 miles. Wounded Warrior Project is encouraging people to cheer them on at Annapolis Harbor at 10:20 tomorrow morning.